Am I saying Saraya or Saraya?
Saraya. Like a ray of sunshine is.
Like a ray of sunshine. Today's guest is Saraya. You may have heard of her on WWE as Paige, but she's so much more than that. And we get to talk about Hell in Boots, which is your new book. Super excited. Welcome to Barely Famous Podcast.
Thank you for having me. I've been so excited about this. Oh my gosh.
I was crying because the last time I saw you was March.
Yeah.
And people will always ask me, who is your favorite person that you've met so far? And I'm like, Saraya.
Really?
Yeah, because you know what? You were so real. And I feel like in this industry, it's so hard to come across people that you relate to and could be friends with. And I think it was Alessandra or somebody. I was like, no, I feel like I could text her if I needed something.
100%.
And you could have the most chemistry with someone on set, in a movie, in a podcast, and you never talk to them again.
You know what? That's I thought the same thing because I've had a lot of guests come on, and there was a girl recently who I fucking fell in love with, and she ended up texting me being like, "Let's go watch movies and stuff like that." But You're right. It's weird. It's like you feel like you have this chemistry, and then once you leave the set, that is like gone. You really don't like build a rapport with somebody. And like instantly with you, I was like, I fucking love this guy.
That's what
I love that. Oh my god!
And it's a lonely place. It can be a lonely place. Like in this, just all of the entertainment, whether it's wrestling or fucking reality TV, just anything. It's so lonely, and I feel like you and my friend Matt are the only two like real people in the industry.
Aww,
and so
it's true though. There's a lot of people where you feel like you have to have trust, right? But it's really hard to trust in this industry too because you don't know who's actually genuine enough. Like, everyone can fake it too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh yeah, this person's great. Like again, I'll hang out with this person outside, and then you kind of fall for that shit too. And then I'm like, oh, I got fooled again. She doesn't want to be my friend. You know?
No, but so we were at your house in LA.
Yeah.
Adam was like, you have to ask her whose house this used to be.
Yeah.
Can you please tell everyone whose house you live in?
Sure. I love it. Oh, you know what? Like, she's my idol, and I didn't realize, and because I did a whole shoot as her. Like, I got an outfit made, like the leather one piece she had and like the big curly hair.
Yeah.
I did that shoot, and like I'm obsessed with her, and all my wrestling gear is kind of like paying homage to her outfits and stuff like that. So after me and my ex broke up, I just wanted to have a fresh start somewhere. So I quickly scooped up this house, didn't think about it. The people didn't tell me, like the realtors and stuff. I had no idea. So then like my house flooded, not my house, but the outside of the house flooded in like the rain and stuff, the storms. And my team was like looking up, making sure like there's nothing dangerous, around there. And then Taylor, someone on my team, texted me. She was like, that's fucking Cher's house. Because it like popped up online, and I was like, it's meant to be. She's like the ultimate single woman. Like she shit in my toilet. You know what I mean? Like I'm shitting in the same toilet as Cher.
You kind of manifested it because you were like doing the outfits and stuff. And then have you ever met her?
No, I'm so sad. And there's this person that I fucking can't stand, and she got to meet her, and it really bummed me out. I was like, why do good things happen to bad people?
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Pisses
I do.
me off.
And last time I was there, I got to hang out with Paulie, your bird.
Yeah.
And he was the best. I think I still have pictures on my phone, so we'll post those on social media for you guys to see.
But he loves you.
No, I love him. So if you ever need a bird sitter,
you got it.
Yeah, because I'll take good care of him. You know what I mean? Like you can't trust people that are coming in and out. And
birds are quite difficult to deal with. Some people think it's a little bit easier, but like Paulie especially, he loves his mama.
Yeah.
So like with you, I was actually quite shocked that he hopped on your arm.
Okay, so let's talk about your career a little bit.
Sure.
You grew up in a wrestling family, and then you signed to WWE or AEW when you were 19?
WWE. I was 18 when I signed, and then I came over to America in 2012, and I just turned 19.
So did they have WWE in England?
They did, yes. So they do 2 tours a year in Europe. And I did my first tryout with them in 2011. And I went there and I thought I had to be what a diva is supposed to look like. Because back then they were just these blonde bombshells, like big old titties, tiny waist, tan. And I'm just like, I was a scruffy little emo kid. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go there on my first tryout and I'm going to tan. So I got my sister to spray tan me, and she whitened my teeth, and I didn't have black hair. I made it like lighter. And then I wore color, and I always wear obviously all black all the time, And so I went there and they all looked at me like, what's fucking wrong with this chick? Like when you see white chicks, you're like, something's off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
definitely something off, and you can tell. And like, I did the tryout too, and I ended up busting this girl's lip open, so it was already like not going very well. And then John Laurinaitis, who was the TR rep for WWE, was just like, "There's something about you right now. It's not really fitting. Like, you don't have a lot of confidence. You know, maybe come back in 6 months and we'll see where you are." And I was like, okay. So then when I came back, I was the only girl at the tryout. They were all dudes and my brother. So I came back dressed as me. I had my pale skin, my dark hair. I had lip ring and gauges and stuff like that. I did the comb over sweep like I usually
Totally
had,
emo.
you know, back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, you know, I'm going to go there completely myself because that's how I'm most confident.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and we'll see where it goes. And if they don't want me, then they don't want me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I went there, I did the tryout, and I'm sorry, this is a long story, but not super long, but yeah. We all had to be around the ring, and there were, again, all men and then me. And then the people that were running the tryouts, their names were Jamie Noble and Dustin, who's Gold Dust. And they backed up into me and they said, tag yourself in, which means I tag the person who's already in the ring and then I go in the ring. And I said, wow, that's going to be really fucking rude for the person that's in the ring because it's their moment because they're trying to try out too. They want to make it, right? But this big jack dude had my brother in like a headlock and he backs into the rope and I tag myself in. And if looks could fucking kill, dude, oh my God, he was so mad at me. But I was like, you know what? They're telling me to do this. I'm going to take my opportunity and do it.
Yeah.
And then I hopped in the ring with my brother and we were in the tryout in the ring for like 80% of the time. And everybody's just like on the side of the ring, like fucking pissed. And then on top of that, all the talent from WWE, like big names like Chris Jericho, Edge, like John Cena were all around the ring watching this tryout. So it was really intimidating. But they just wanted to see how I worked, you know? And so I was getting my ass beat, you know?
By your brother?
Yeah. Yeah. He was beating my ass. And like we were going back and forth. But mostly they wanted to see how I sold. And selling is like if someone hits you, like your reaction, you know? So that's selling. And so they wanted to see that and what I could do basically. And then at the end, everyone's done, everyone's pissed at me, whatever. But then they signed me. And I was just that day, they were like, all right. And then Triple H come up to me and he was like, welcome aboard. And I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. And I was a kid, you know.
Was that your brother's tryout too?
Yeah, he didn't get in though. What
was that like for you, for both of you?
So he was really disappointed and my mum was there too. And I felt like I couldn't really celebrate too hard, you know, because that's been my brother's dream since he could walk, you know. Yeah. He was like, he's a wrestling encyclopedia. And so, and I didn't want to get into wrestling until I was 13. I was kind of like trying to avoid it because my whole family did it, you know, I was trying to rebel. And, but I fell in love with it. And so Zach's been wanting to be in wrestling in WWE for so long. And it was a little weird at first, but he was so sweet and he was trying to be happy for me while also inside feeling really sad that he didn't make it. And he had like 10 tryouts and they didn't want to sign him. And it was just, it was sad, but he came to AEW though. I got him signed there, so he had.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So does he get to work for you guys at all? Because I know your parents were in it. Your mom was a wrestler.
She still is.
Oh, she still is.
Yeah, my dad still is. He's 70. 52. Yeah, 73 this year. Yeah, 73 this year.
But your mom's wrestling name was Saraya?
Yes, Saraya Knight. So that fucking bitch, dude. I swear to God. Now everyone thinks I'm named after a wrestler name. How I got my name is she was in the 80s. She went to a Slayer concert and she was tripping on acid. And she misheard Slayer for Saraya. And that's how she got my name. But then she started wrestling, fucking stole it. It makes me so
you're not named after her or you are named after her?
No. She's named after me. Oh my!
She should.
Yeah.
So you decided around 13 that you wanted to get into wrestling. Did you feel pressure to get into it, or was it just like a natural? Because didn't you tell me you wanted to be like a veterinarian or something?
I did. I wanted to be a vet. I wanted to be a zoologist. I love animals so much, so I wanted to be in the animal territory. You know. And then I already knew wrestling. I grew up in wrestling since my mom was actually pregnant with me and didn't realize. So I've been
in the ring
since I was a fetus, and so like she could have killed me. That's why I have scoliosis now. But so around 13 years old, my dad was shorting a girl one day for a match.
Okay,
and he said, "Saraya, just hop in here." I mean, the crowd, there was like 10 people in the crowd. It's not a big deal. But I was like, okay, I will. But can Zach be in the ring with me? And he dressed like the Pink Power Rangers. So we like tucked and put like a little bra on, had a mask and stuff. And there was a few other girls. And he body slammed me or something. Anyway, I got concussed and I'm just laying there and he's pitting me. And I'm just like, this is the coolest shit ever. Like, I love this. Even though I'm like, ooh, it was just, there's no better feeling than that adrenaline rush that you get in the ring, even if it's in front of one person or freaking 90,000 at WrestleMania, you know?
So do you know why they picked you if the standard for the women was like blonde, small waist? Like what, you just feel like you set the tone for a new generation of women?
Exactly. So they signed me because I was different than everybody else. And around that time, there was no other girls like me, you know, like everybody was this bombshell, and then you had like this scruffy little emo pale chick, you know, but they loved it. And that's what gave me the success that I had within wrestling, is because of my look. Because again, it like opened up a door for a lot of like men and women like me to come into the industry and like be confident enough to know that they're going to make it too. So now you have incredible alternative women like Rhea Ripley and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of us now, which I love.
No, I love it. Are you friends with any of those girls? I had Becky Lynch on the podcast.
Becky I've known since I was 13.
Really?
Yeah.
Was she also wrestling during that time?
Yeah. So we were on the indies together, which is the independent circuit, where it's just these tiny little rinky-dink shows that you throw in like a parking lot or whatever, you know? And so, yeah, we were in the business, but she would also come stay at my house, you know? And she was so sweet. Like, I mean, people love her. She's a good chick.
Yeah.
Did you have her on here?
Yeah, I had her on the podcast, and then we went to what is it called, WrestleMania?
Oh,
yeah. I took the kids to WrestleMania, and she was really sick that day. She had like strep throat or something, and it was crazy. But I felt bad.
I know you had Carmella on here too.
Oh yeah, Leah Van Dale, and she's expecting another baby. She announced, and I thought that was. I think she might have been pregnant when we had her on. We didn't even know.
I love her though. All the girls are really nice.
Yeah,
like once you actually meet them, like they're sweet.
Leah didn't say anything bad about any of the women. I just think she wants to see change in WWE for women, and I get that, because women should be able to have their careers and also have a family. And I think maybe wrestling isn't super convenient for that.
Yeah, and I mean, some people can, some people can't. You know what I mean? Like, if you are a moneymaker, they will give you the opportunity to like have a baby come back or whatever. I'm not saying she's not a moneymaker. She was amazing. Like, I did a bunch of like different things for her, but some of the standards are different for like each person, you know?
Yeah, I could see that. I think that's the way it works in reality TV too, is like certain people get paid more, evidently, if you're like making money or causing ratings or whatever.
She's talented though. Like, she's so freaking incredible. Like, her mic work, she got so great in the ring and stuff. So I was a little shocked that they actually released her, honestly.
Maybe they'll bring her back.
I hope so.
Yeah. What have you been up to since I've seen you last?
Oh my fucking God.
You published your book, Helen Boots.
Oh my God.
Did you go on a book tour?
I'm doing the book tour. So I have the signing this weekend. Next weekend, I have 2 signings back to back too. So we're adding more to it, because I wanted to take this year out of wrestling and like get my feet wet in acting a little bit, you know, because I've always loved that so much. And then also do these signings and just do stuff outside of wrestling for a little bit, because I've dedicated 20 years of my life to being a wrestler.
You were in the wrestling ring and I was having a baby. Because we're like the same age, right? And you said 2011. I had a 1-year-old.
Wow. Yeah. Wait, was that your first kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that video that we had from my podcast where I was like, so you're really fertile. Everybody still, like, that's the video everyone keeps tagging me because they thought that was like the
so
funniest
funny
shit. Yeah.
It's so crazy because I never wanted kids. You know what I mean?
I know you said that. And now you have 7.
Yeah. Can you tell the listeners what you told me about your signature when I was like, oh my God, your signature is so cute. Can you tell me who taught you how to do an autograph?
John Cena.
And what was his like rule of thumb? Like, what did he say? It was like, because I do my whole entire name, every single letter, and yours is so cute, and it's like whatever. And you said he taught you like.
So it was backstage at WWE, and the merch guys were like, "Here's a pile of posters you need to sign for us, right?" And I was doing Paig, you know what I mean, like the whole page name. And Cena comes up, and he was just like, "You're gonna get really tired of doing it like that," you know. He was like, "It's very quick, very easy. If you just do a P and then a scribble or whatever." He was like, because ultimately you're going to get so bored and annoyed signing your full name like that. So, I mean, it worked. And then I started noticing everyone's signatures was kind of like that, where it's like, you can't really read what the fuck is going on. But as long as you get that P in there or whatever, like John Cena just does like a JC or something like that.
Is it weird being around people like John Cena or The Rock and knowing that they're icons to everybody else, but you grew up around it?
Yeah. So yes, still is, because they radiate this aura. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, The Rock is The Rock. Yeah. John Cena is John Cena. But you know what? They've both been amazing. And John Cena, when he was wrestling, when I was wrestling, he would sit like, so backstage there's like a little area where it's like a TV, we call it talent viewing, and you can watch the matches, and he would be the first one at the building, and then he'd be sitting right at the front watching all the matches that's happening, and he'd be the last one to leave too. Like his work ethic is like inspiring, you know?
Yeah.
And then he would take the time, like whenever anyone needed it, and he'd sit there and he'll give you advice and all that kind of stuff. You know, he's a nice guy. He's a hell of a guy.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
we love hearing good experiences.
Yeah, I feel like Cena's one of the celebrities that everyone just loves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Although he did do like a McDonald's thing, and I was like, I don't know that John Cena would actually eat McDonald's.
Yeah, I don't know
what I mean?
either. Yeah. You know what? Get that money, brother.
Yeah, seriously. The last time we talked, you were launching Rule Breakers podcast.
Yep.
Who came up with the concept for that? Because it's so funny to me that I'm like, how can I do this? Like, how can I shock people with an electric collar?
Incorporate it, even if it's just for your Patreon viewers. You know what I mean? Like you should. It's fun. So it was me because I wanted to do, and the stuff is going to get wilder and wilder, you know?
Yeah.
And so we were just testing the waters and stuff like that and see how it was going. But yeah, I was just like, I want to do a podcast, but I want to try and stand out as much as I can, right? Because I mean, it's just, there's a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, it's saturated for sure.
Yeah. And you're lucky if it's successful, which congratulations, because your one's fucking awesome. But yeah, I just wanted to stand out a little bit. So I was just like, I want to incorporate Jackass meets Simple Life meets, you know, and then have the podcast part. And I was actually getting tattooed because I do Q&As too, just for me from the fans and stuff like that. But we always want to be in uncomfortable positions. So I'm getting blasted with a tattoo gun while I'm getting these questions asked, you know, or we're going to go like off-roading and stuff like that and try and answer these questions. But yeah, it was my idea. And the only thing is that people would rather watch it than listen to it. The listeners are good, but there's so much more people wanting to watch it on YouTube. Yeah. Because it's such a visual show.
Especially when you're getting I mean, shocked with a dog collar is crazy. When my team told me they were like, they're going to do some weird shit to you, I was like what? Because I'm not eating fucking bugs.
Yeah. I mean, the bug eating is another thing. We actually recently did something more simple because one of my guests, Gabby Tuft, who's amazing, she has heart issues and then she has allergies. So it's just like, okay, like what do we do? Because if we shock her, I don't want her to die. Right. You know, I'd be like, fuck. And then we were putting like these shellfish or whatever on there. She was like, I'm actually allergic to shellfish too. And I was like, oh, fuck, I nearly killed you twice, you know? So then we just did, we came up with something on the spot, and it was like trying pregnancy cravings, right? And then also, because you get a lot of scam calls from like these crypto things. So we're like, okay, if you can keep this scammer on the phone for 5 minutes, you don't have to eat any of these.
Did she do it?
She was great. She killed it. She could have kept him on there for 10 minutes, but I have to eat it. So it was gross.
Ew.
There was like tuna and chocolate milk and stuff. And I'm like, how is that?
Did you throw up?
No.
Would you eat escargot?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You just said that you tried it, right?
It's disgusting.
It is. What is it, the texture? What is it?
No, I think it was just it didn't taste bad. It tasted like I was eating garlic, but it's just the thought.
Really?
I think I was just in my own head about it. And we ate caviar. Yeah. Do you eat that?
I do. I eat caviar. Yeah.
Oh, but if you would have had me eating things on your podcast, I don't eat seafood. So like the slugs, the caviar, it's just not for me.
Oh, I'm good at eating stuff. I'll eat it even if it's gross. Yeah. Oh, I pop those in. I like them. I think they taste good. Yeah, some of them taste really good. I'm I'm not mad at it.
Would you eat frog legs?
The cicadas, scorpions kind of taste like soapy. That's not very good, but
soapy?
Yeah, like a soap. Yeah, that's not good, but I could eat it. That shit's easy for me. So I was getting zapped so much, by the way, with a fucking dog collar. I did like a couple of episodes back to back, and we did the dog shock collar on every single one because that's what everyone kept choosing. And I was drooling by the end of it. I was like, oh, I can't get through another fucking episode. So
do a lie detector test.
Oh my gosh.
That would be good. I did a lie detector test in 2016. And honestly, I can understand why it stresses people out because I was telling the truth. Like they were like, you can only answer yes and no questions. So and you can't nod your head. So if you ask a question, you have to say yes or no, or like give a 1-word answer. And they're like, just to like get your baseline heart rate. It was like, is today Tuesday? And my heart is just beating out of my chest.
You're like,
I don't know. Is it Tuesday? And so I was like freaking out. And I'm like, is it going to say that I'm lying because I was freaking out? You know what I mean? But that would be good.
Yeah. 100%. Especially someone that's quite controversial. You know what I mean? You're like, I want to get the tea. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on then. Go on then.
Come on.
Yeah, I would love to have you back on.
Oh, I'm down. So much. Okay, let's talk about Helen Boots. You wrote a book. You published it in March?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what was the writing process like for you? Was it cathartic at all?
Oh my God. Have you written a book?
Yeah. 4.
4?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I should have known that, but fucking hell. But anyway, it's exhausting.
It is.
Because you so I had a ghostwriter for the first year, and bless her heart, I love her. She was great. She's a lot older than me though. So it kind of made me sound like I was out the cast of Annie.
Okay.
It was like very like, hello, governor, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a little too much. And then she would confuse all the stories. And then on top of that, she was adding stuff to like create drama, and I'm like, my book is really traumatic.
Yeah,
as is.
It's heavy.
I don't think you need to get me starting fights with random wrestlers, like, because it's not true, So then I had to rewrite the whole thing, and when you're just like, okay, like I have a faint memory of something, and then so I would get Zoom calls with everyone that was involved,
right?
So then like, because they can remember stuff I can't,
yeah.
And so I wanted it to be as accurate for everybody as possible, like not just my point of view on it. I wanted it to be everybody's, right?
Yeah.
So that was exhausting too. So that took another year on top of that to rewrite the whole thing. But it's exhausting. It's tedious.
Yeah.
It's just, oh my gosh. I love that I got it done though. Like once you're done, you're like, okay, I feel really accomplished with this, but it was a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah. Do you talk about anything that's in it anymore? Because I feel like my first book was like a diary for me. So I don't ever really talk about anything that's in it. And if people ask me, I'll be like, just read the book because I don't have it in me to talk about it.
Yeah. So I said the same thing actually recently. I said, it's like I just gave my diary to the world. But I still talk about it because a lot of people, there's a lot of things, because I don't speak publicly about traumas or anything like that. I feel like we come from a generation where you're just like, if you fall over, you get back up, brush off and continue. You don't bitch and complain. Like, we never did therapy back in the day. We just continued.
Yeah.
And so having to do this book was intimidating and scary because I'm like, oh my God, people are actually going to know something about me,
Yeah.
And also I wanted to do it because other people keep telling my story and they don't know who I am, and you'll see like random stories. And I'm like, I did what? It's crazy. Yeah. And so I just wanted people, if I was going to tell my story, I wanted it to be like everything. Like I'm very intense, all the intense parts. So the only exhausting part of like talking about the book is every media outlet wants to talk about my childhood abuse. And so that would be like their focal point. Well, how did you feel? I'm like, I don't know, I was a fucking kid, dude. You know what I mean? Like and doing the audiobook on top of it and like having to read that chapter over and over again, it was so hard for me to get through that chapter because I never spoke about it. Not even with my mom and dad. It was like something that me and my brother went through together.
Right.
And you know what's really wonderful about Zach? Oh my gosh. This always like breaks my heart is so I got molested when I was a kid, right? And me and my brother shared a room and he kept coming to my bed. And one day, Zach, we're kids.
Yeah.
Like we're not teens. We're like very, very young kids. And his bed was opposite to mine. And he told the guy to come to his bed so I can have a break. Yeah. Me and Zach finally talked about it like, 29, so it was a few years ago. We finally, because he's had a hard time getting over it, right? He's been really struggling over the years. He's only a year older than me, right? And so he's been really struggling and it really affected his mental health all these years. And so he called me, his heart was broken, he was crying, and he was like, Saraya, I need to talk about this, And I was like, of course, let's do it. Like, and then he felt like he was crazy, and I felt like I was crazy, but we felt very validated. And, when we finally got to talk to each other about it. And I said to Zach, I was just like, you know what? You can speak to mom and dad about it. I don't want to, And so, and I wasn't even going to put it in the book, but I just knew it would help a lot of people if we did.
Yeah.
So, and this was before I started writing the book, and I know that my mom went through it with her stepdad back in the day and no one believed her. Her whole family didn't believe her. They kicked her out. They abandoned her. It broke my heart. And so I feel like with me and Zach, it kind of felt like if we were to say something, no one would believe us. So it took years for us to talk about it. And then he spoke to mom and dad about it. And my mom texted me saying, I will always believe you. I love you so much. She was really great. And that's all I needed. And then I didn't talk about it anymore. And I put it in the book,
But you just wanted her to know.
Yeah.
Did you have the support from your family to talk about some of those intense things from your childhood?
Oh, yeah. Like my family is so supportive.
Good.
And I'm like, listen, like Our childhood wasn't perfect, but I say now, I wouldn't change a thing about my life. Even the craziest parts, I would not change a thing, because now I'm the happiest I've ever been, even going through all that stuff.
Right.
And now I can help people with it. And I'm so proud of myself for being strong enough to get through it. And now I can show people that there is another side to it and they can keep going, you know? So it's like, people think I'm weird for saying that I wouldn't change a thing, but
no, I feel the same way when people ask me about regrets. I'm like, I don't have regrets over big aspects of my life. Obviously, I wish I could say something different, or, you know, the same thing could happen. I wish I would have handled it different. But overall, like, I don't have regrets about my life, and I wouldn't change a thing, which is so weird, because I think, like you, I also had a really traumatic childhood, and it's so weird to like think of it that way. Like, we wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, exactly. When you switch your mentality too, because I did a lot of therapy with it, is you never say victim, right? Because it kind of puts you in a more negative feeling or whatever.
Right.
You say survivor instead. So I always say to everybody, you're not a victim, you're a survivor.
Right.
And
No,
it's
that makes
so
sense.
powerful. Like, and that really helped me. I was just like, yeah, I survived that shit. You know
Absolutely,
what I mean?
you did.
You survived that shit.
I had to change a lot of my mental, like, where I guess my perspective or my mentality, like you were saying, for a long time, probably up until like my late teens, it was always like self-pity.
Yes.
I was always like feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah.
And at some point I hit a wall where I was like, I need to shut the fuck up, and I need to figure this out, and I need to work through it. And you said something about therapy. Do you do like talk therapy, or what is it called? EDMR, EMDR. Have you ever done that?
What's the EMDR?
I think EMDR is when they clicking. Oh, rapid eye movement.
Oh.
Yeah, I've heard of. Okay, so I have CPTSD, which is complex PTSD, which maybe you have heard
I
of
have
that.
PTSD too.
Okay, so and I think it works for that. Do you just do talk therapy?
So I did the talk therapy, but I also did the one where you're laying down just on a table and they do like pressure points around your body. And I can't remember what it's called, but I mean, to me, that didn't help me too much. I just wanted to sleep. But I also did ketamine treatments too.
Oh, that's right. We did talk about that.
Yeah,
For those of you guys who have not listened, did we talk about it on on the episode on rule breakers?
I don't think we did. I think we just talked about it. Yeah.
Okay. So you if you guys didn't listen to Rule Breakers, go check it out. It's on YouTube.
Yes.
We might have talked about it over there, but if you guys didn't listen to that episode yet, we talked about ketamine treatment. I only know one other person that has ever done that, and he did it with like a doctor.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Delaware has ketamine therapy.
Yeah. It definitely helped a little bit, you know, but it's mostly you just like have to lay there, put these like, you know, cover your eyes and stuff like that. But to me, it was whatever. I just think you need to find the right therapist.
Yeah.
You know, like Jackie, my psychiatrist, actually, she was amazing. Like, because I went through a lot of different therapists and I just didn't feel the connection, you know?
And that
like,
happens.
It does. And I'm like, this doesn't sit right. You don't feel like my person, you know? And eventually I did find my person with the help of WWE. They were great. And then they also got me an in-house therapist with WWE, but that he focused more on drugs and alcohol.
Okay.
So I had a bunch of different therapists and I tried a bunch of different things, but like, again, finding the right person will help you big time.
Oh, it'll change your life.
Oh, 100%.
And I don't know. My therapist, I've been on and off with her since 2019, like 6 years. And I'm like, what am I going to do if she like retires, or like, I don't want to find somebody new. It's like dating someone. You have to date around to find the right person.
Exactly.
It's harder than you think. So it's like, as if life is not hard enough.
Yeah.
But you said that WWE helped you with therapy. For drugs and alcohol. Do you ever talk about that? I know obviously it's in the book, but and go pick up Helen Boots on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, wherever you get books. But do you ever talk about it publicly, or is it?
Yeah. People like to ask about it because my whole addiction was like very public, and everyone saw me have meltdowns and look like shit and like struggle publicly with it. You know,
if it's any consolation, I never saw any of your struggles publicly. I don't know if that matters to you or not, but I only ever.
It does, because it felt like everybody saw it. You know
and that's the worst. It's like being, you know, everything that's horrible and like puts us through some shit is always what goes more viral. More people see it. And you're like, what the fuck? Yeah.
And people still give me a hard time about it. But you're just like, I don't know why, because it was, you know, I was going through something really rough. You know what I mean? So yeah, they end up helping me. So like when I first came back from my first neck surgery, they were just like, okay. And I had 2 strikes against me because they publicly told the world that I popped 2 drug tests, you know? And then I tried to lie to the internet. I tweeted, it was just a prescription from the dentist, or the Novocaine from the dentist, right? And they were just like, no, it wasn't. It was an illegal substance, right?
WWE said that.
Yeah, because they got a lot of shit because I lied and said it was because of the dentist and they didn't believe me. But, you know, and I take that on the chin. Like I fucking lied about that because I was so embarrassed and I didn't want to tell my family that I popped another drug test.
Nobody does, especially
It's
in such a
humiliating.
public place.
And
like,
it was
why
on my birthday.
Why would they assume that you were going to just come out and be like,
Yeah, exactly. So I was kind of like just mortified and I just didn't know what to do. So I just lied. And then of course WWE had to be like, because it went viral.
Yeah.
And they looked like the bad guys for a second. And then they were just like, no, she's lying. And I was just like, yeah, I'm lying, you know, but it was really rough. I should have been fired so many times, but WWE had my back, dude. That fuck.
Is that why you're not angry with them now?
No, exactly. Like they've helped me so friggin' much. And they saved my life ultimately, you know, because they were like, okay, you have 2 strikes on you. If you stay sober for a year, we'll take that strike off. Because if you get 3 strikes, you're fired. So they gave me like a motive to keep trying to be sober because it would save my job, you know?
Right.
And again, they got me my therapist, they got me my psychiatrist, like anything I needed, they got it. They just wanted to make sure that I was healthy because when I first came back, I remember my PTSD, I go into full body shakes.
Yeah.
And it's uncontrollable. And I just like it, when I was coming back, I was just like, I was freaking out. And Mark Carano, who was the TR at the time, came outside and like guided me into the building, you know, because I was just like
convulsing.
Yeah, it was really bad. And then I see Vince McMahon, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon all separately, but they all hugged me and they were just like, we're just happy you didn't die, because everyone thought I was going to die. I was such a fucking mess, you know?
I'm kind of speechless because I feel like so often with addiction, people don't give people grace.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the same way with my mom being an addict. I just like don't give her grace, but anyone else I do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that's why you are so loyal to WWE?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, because again, so many times I should have been fired. So many times like I should have been dead, you know, because of all the mistakes I was making. But they saved my life. They really did. They helped me big time by, you know, constantly was trying to check in on me because I was out for a year and a half and I was a hot mess. The tapes came out, like I was on drugs, all these crazy shit. And I was a hot mess, you know. I was on TMZ for fucking like I was just got in a fight with my ex and I was like in the street, like in Vegas, you know, the busy strip or whatever. I was like running into traffic, you know, like I was a hot mess. So, I just wasn't in a good place and they never gave up on me. So I just appreciate them so much. But I think it's because I was there for such a long time and I was very young and they gave me grace, you know.
Yeah.
They get it. But
they didn't have to. I guess they could have just fired you and not had
would have been
anything
easier.
to do it. Yeah. I mean, for them.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah. So they really saved my life.
So during this time, you're going through a really just traumatic part of your life. Mm-hmm. Is this the same time that the sex tapes come out? Yeah,
it was the same
time.
So
it was popping the drug test. You're out of WWE for a year and a half and the sex tapes all at one time.
Yeah.
And where was your family? Were they living in the United States or were they
No, they're in England.
So that you didn't even have like your immediate family with you?
Nobody. And I shut myself out too. The only person that tried really hard to come see me was Renee. Like WWE were in San Antonio at the time, and Renee Paquette is one of my good friends from like WWE, AEW. We did Tour Divas together, you know.
Yeah.
She's one of my favorite people, best friends. Renee came to my house and she, after all the horror stories that she's hearing, she still came to my house, you know. And she just like sat with me and it felt good to have a friend again because I was by myself. And I shut myself off. And like it just felt nice to have someone that didn't give up on me too, you know. And she came and saw me like. Even now, oh my gosh, I was at my, you don't even know this, Meech, my manager's here, you guys, but Meech's wedding was in Italy. Sorry, I'm going all over the place, but it just reminds me with Renee. And again, I lost my wallet, I lost my green card, everything was gone. And the whole time
Wait, not this time? This past time? You lost it before?
No, sorry. So I'm telling another Renee story. I know I'm going all over the place, but it reminded me of recently.
Oh, okay.
When I went to Italy for my manager's wedding, and I lost my wallet, had everything in it. Luckily, I had my passport, but I was freaking out, and I had the worst anxiety. And then with that anxiety comes the shakes, right? Yeah. And I was shaking, and I was trying to like keep it under control, and I'm just freaking out. And last week from that, Renee texted me. She was like, "Hey, buddy, like, I just want to check in on you," because she got freaked out that maybe I was on drugs again, or like something was happening with a guy or something like that. And I was like, Renee, it's my anxiety. I shake when I have anxiety, but she's just such a great friend that she was just like, talk to me, like, what's going on, you know? So she's always been like a great friend to me. But yeah, so during that time, it was just going back again to that year and a half. It was lonely, it was scary, and I didn't think I was going to make it either. I was losing my hair, like from stress-induced anorexia. My hair was falling out, and I was the smallest I've ever been. I'm not a big girl by any means, but I was really, really small, like sickly small. There's like pictures of you where you can see my bones and stuff like that. I had a big mat in my hair because I hadn't had my extensions fixed in like a year and a half, But I was a hot mess, and I kind of gave up on myself too, which is like, I look back on, I'm just like, I'm frustrated with myself for getting that low, but I'm also thankful because I got that low and I know what the bottom feels like, and I never want to see it again. So it kind of like inspires me to keep grinding and keep,
Where do you think the line was that you were like, okay, I can't keep living like this?
Yeah. So, well, there's a couple of stories. One I can't tell, but there's another one where I was actually in the grocery store where I talk about this in my book, and I'm a hot mess. Again, I haven't showered. My hair's a mess. Like I have like one eyelash on. I was just the crackhead energy, dude. It was bad. And I was in the grocery store because I want to get some beers and stuff, and I walked past an aisle, and this little girl was like obsessed with me, like big Paige fan, and she obviously is young, so she's not on the internet. She doesn't see all that kind of stuff, but she looked at me like I was a superhero, and something kind of clicked with that, where I was just like, I'm not only giving up on myself, I'm giving up for a lot of people, and then I thought that a role model had to be perfect.
Yeah.
But I realized being a role model is like, you make these mistakes and it's how you come out of it. That's the inspiring part.
Right.
So something clicked in there where I was just like, I need to get better for like, not just her, but like everybody,
Yeah.
And it's weird. Yeah. Something just randomly clicked one day. And it happens like that. It's like with addictions and stuff like that, you can't stop unless you really want to. And it doesn't matter who's around you. Like, well, it does. Community is really important. It's one of the most important things with an addict is your community. But like, Meech wouldn't be able to stop. Sorry, Meech, my manager, wouldn't be able to stop me being off drugs unless I really wanted to.
Right.
He could be there for me, you know what I mean? But like, I'm not going to get off drugs unless I really want to. And so one day it just like clicked, and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
So that was your rock bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember my mom's face because I got so low that I started taking a bunch of pills while I was on FaceTime with her, and I kind of traumatized her a little bit. Because I was like, I ended up spitting them all out, but it was just a really dark time. I was like on the floor in a hotel room, and I was just like, I was so bad, and I just, Mom, I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to live anymore. Yeah. Sorry.
I think I cried on yours too, so. Yeah. Just a bunch of crying.
Right back at you. Okay. Yeah. So I just remember her face too, and I'm like, I really fucked her up,
Yeah. And she wasn't in LA at that time, probably. So that was the distance probably made it 10 times harder.
Yes. I was just fucking up a lot of people's lives, and I just decided like, one day I was like, I can't do this anymore. And then WWE again reached out to me, and they were just like, okay, like, it's time to come home. We'll get you your flight back to Orlando. Like, let's just get you back at the performance center. Let's get you training. Let's get you, we've got you, and it was just so amazing that they did that for me. So yeah, literally a couple of days later, I packed all my stuff, sent it off, and I was back in Orlando. And then my friends, Joey and Raquel, I think you met.
Yeah.
They let me live with them because I couldn't live by myself at the time because I couldn't trust myself, So I lived with them, and they let me stay with them for such a long time. It was so sweet. They even followed me out to LA. They moved to LA with me because there's some ride or die friends right there. But yeah, I ended up moving in with them. and they helped me so much. I mean, they even stopped drinking because they didn't want me to drink. You know what I mean? Like they're good buddies for doing that, you know? And so, yeah, it was just, something just switched one day and everything changed. Sorry, that was so long-winded.
No, it's okay. I met them and they're so sweet.
They're amazing.
No, but it's great that you're like you wanting to be done with drugs or alcohol lined up with everybody else wanting to support you through that, because like you said, I mean, somebody else can't want it more than you.
Exactly. And again, community is so important. Like back then I was surrounding myself with people that weren't good for me and that encouraged that kind of behavior, you know? And then when you switch it up and keep people like now, my people now, Meech included over here is my boy over there, but like he wouldn't ever let me take a drug. You know what I mean? Like you need to surround yourself with people that encourage you to be better and, you know, and are there for you when you are having a bad day. You know, the amount of times I've called you, right, where I'm like, oh, I'm fucking stressing out, you know, like, and he's patient with me and talks me off a ledge, you know what I mean? And you need people like that around you that is willing to give you their time to try and be like selfless, you know, and just get you through the day.
Once sort of everything sort of subsided from, I guess that year and a half for you, but during that time was when the sex tapes came out.
Yeah, sorry, the sex tapes, fuck. Yeah, God.
But you were a minor in the video, correct?
I wasn't a minor, I was 19.
Okay, so you were a teenager in the video.
I was a teenager, but they were older than me. But I will say this, the other guy in the video, he's a sweet angel. He didn't, you know, he's still my friend, you know, to this day. Like, you know, but the other guy's a piece of shit because I was seeing the other guy. And at 19, you know, we're very, what's the word?
Naive?
Yeah, and easily influenced, for sure. You know, and like, we're just, as women, like you have an older guy and you just want to like impress them, you know, and you do whatever you need to do, like to keep them happy, you know? And so again, ultimately I made the decision to say yes to doing these tapes, you know what I mean? But like you're shaking them, but,
you can't take credit, like blame for that.
No. But you know, I was definitely influenced by this guy to do it, but I'm always like, he didn't hold a gun to my head. So again, 19, I'm fresh in America. I don't have friends, you know, I don't know anybody. I'm like, I don't know how to make friends either. I was like socially awkward. So yeah, having this guy be so friendly to me and nice, and then slowly started being like, we should take a picture, we should do a video, we should do this, we should do that. And I was like, okay, like, sure, you know, and I was uncomfortable with it, you know, like, I don't do that shit. Even now, I would never, well, of course, even now, but like, you wouldn't catch me dead taking a picture, right?
Right.
So then, and then he started like putting in the idea of like a threesome, right? And I was just like, I can't do that. There's no way. And then he was like, don't worry, it'll be with Woods and stuff like that. Like, and Woods is my friend, you know. And again, Woods has no idea what's going on behind the scenes with me and this other guy.
Right.
He's just, he's like, whatever, just fun, you know. And so I had to, ultimately I said yes. And I had to drink a lot before I even did it.
But that right there is enough to tell somebody that this probably isn't great. Like, yeah, you verbally said yes, but if you have to drink to the point where you're like comfortable and willing to do it, I feel like there is a line.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you agree, Alessandra?
100%.
Like that goes into, yesterday I had a guest on and we were talking about consent. Like, is it a simple yes or no? And it's not. There's such a gray area with consent. And I feel like that is part of it. It's like, okay, yes, I'm saying okay, but I have to drink until I'm drunk. Well, you're no longer able to consent of sound mind when you're under the influence. Right.
I felt like I had to do it so I can, again, loosen up and be comfortable because I'm young, dude, you know, like I'm just, but yeah, we ended up doing that. Like at one point we had to part ways. There was just no way we could even stay like socializing with each other. It was a little toxic, you know? And then years later, obviously it did come out and it was the most mortifying thing ever. I do not wish it on anybody because it's graphic and you're in a vulnerable position and like you were a kid, dude, you know, and like it just is it went mega viral, especially back then when it was just, I mean, even a few years ago, like things aren't as crazy as it is now when it comes to viral, but that shit was insanely viral. It was everywhere. And I was so mortified and it broke my heart. And I was already in a bad position with drugs and mental health and stuff like that. And I say in the book too, if my dad doesn't accept me for this, you know, and I would never even think my dad wouldn't, but I was just so scared of what my dad would think.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, I feel so embarrassed. And like, you know, it's just, I just felt really awful. And so I was like, okay, if I call my dad and he doesn't accept it, then that's it. Like, I'm done. Again, I was like, wanted to kill myself over it because it was so mortifying. Yeah. It was awful.
Yeah.
And I felt like every time I was at the house, everyone was staring at me, and I had fans. Like if I went to a place, they'd be like, "There's the porn star." Like it was just fucking awful, dude. It was mortifying. I couldn't go on the internet. They were getting sent to my parents. You know, all my family members were seeing me in that kind of position. I was just, anyway. I called my dad, and I was in a bush outside a grocery store because I just ran out my house when it happened. I don't know why. I just ran out the house and I just kept running. And then I end up like coming across this bush outside a grocery store and I just sat in it. And I don't know why I did that.
I mean, I think that speaks to the mental place that you were in.
I didn't know what else to do, you know? And then I was like, okay, this is it. If my dad doesn't like it, then I don't think I can be around anymore, you know? I have nothing left. And so I call him and I just said, I'm so sorry, Dad. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so embarrassed. And he was just like, princess. Yeah. He was like, everybody has sex. Mm-hmm. You're just in the public eye. Mm-hmm. And he said, and who knows, you could get more famous. Look at Kim Kardashian. I was like, Dad, how do you know Kim Kardashian? You know what I mean? But he was so supportive and he was so sweet. And he was just like, it's just sex, Saraya. Like, who gives a fuck, you know? Yeah. And he was just more concerned about how I was mentally, you know, and it was awful. It was an awful time, but I ignored my phone too. Like, of course I was being blown up, except when WWE texted me and they were like, put this statement out and that's it. So they wrote out. What was
the statement?
It was, pictures and videos got leaked without my consent or something like that. And it would be taken care of or something like that. It was just like a 2-sentence thing. And they said, that's all you need to put out and then just get the fuck off the internet, you know? And so I was like, okay. And again, they were so supportive. Right. I was like, again, another reason for them not to be, they were.
If it was someone who leaked it, what was the fucking point?
Yeah, exactly. I never have that mentality where I'd ever want to sell someone out. Like even like, I haven't put some relationships in the book because I don't need to talk about it. Yeah. You know, like it's just, I'm just not one of those people. So when I see people like that, like I had a friend recently like do that. Like she sold me out for like an ex, and I can't say which one, but she was supposed to be a loyal friend of mine, and like that happened, and I was just like all for, I think it was like $4,000 or something like that. I was like, that's all it took for you to like stop being my friend. That's
I would have given you the $4,000.
That's what I said to her.
It's so fucked up, but like if you needed money, like I would have just given that to you. You didn't have to.
Exactly.
Because now you'll never have the benefit or access to me ever again.
Exactly. And that's my 2025 is like, I will cut you off. Yeah. Done. Yes. Like I've got to a point in my life where I will not deal with like even a small ounce of disrespect. Yeah. So I just like, motherfuckers get cut out. Done. So she was done. So I was like blocked on everything. Fuck you, bitch. You're done.
And at that point, you don't care what she has to say because
no.
She did you dirty.
Yeah.
Okay. So the sex tape at what point do things start to look up for you? When WWE said, okay, we're going to get you back out to Orlando and we're going to keep pushing forward, you were like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. So then they instantly brought me back. They instantly got my flight, got me home back to Orlando. And like a couple of days later, they had me back in the training facility and welcomed me back with open arms, you know, and then that's just like, I hadn't seen Vince in that yet. Like that was like a couple of weeks after or whatever. But at the training facility is just where all the up and coming wrestlers are and like, you know, some of my old trainers and stuff like that. So being there was amazing. It really helped me big time. Like it helped build my confidence back up again because I lost a lot of confidence. And so it was really nice. And they, again, as with some of my best friends that I'm living with, you know, like everything just felt way better. Like I just felt like I'm getting back to Saraya again. Yeah. You know, I'm like, I don't know who this bitch was, but like that wasn't Saraya. So yeah.
And then you went from WWE to AEW?
Yeah, that was a few years later though. So I came back after my first neck surgery, and within 6 weeks, I was kicked in the back of the neck, and then I had to retire.
After your surgery, you got kicked in the back of the neck?
Yeah. It's online. It's crazy.
I don't think I saw that.
I got like temporarily like paralyzed in the ring. So like I got kicked in the back of the neck. It's no one's fault. It's wrestling. It happens, right? So I get kicked in the back of the neck, and again, you can watch it. It's like
Gnarly.
yeah. But like my neck snaps back as I fall down. It was like a bad car accident is what the doctor told me, right? And like she's crawling to like the corner to try and tag her friend in, you know, as part of the match. And like I'm trying to grab her legs and I can't feel my arms. It's weird. Like I just can't feel a fucking thing. And then I'm like, oh no, something's happening, you know? And then I still try and grab her, and then my legs start to go too. So then I end up falling down, and I'm still trying to get back up. I look pathetic. It's really sad. But like, I'm still trying to get back up. The crowd gets really quiet. It was actually here on where is it? It was out here on the East Coast, actually, somewhere in New York, I think. I can't remember either.
But it was a live taping?
It was not live TV. It was a live event, so it was non-televised, but there's people that were recording it from the crowd. So luckily it wasn't on live TV, but the crowd went dead silent, and I'm just like laying on my back, and I'm just telling the referee, I was just like, that's it. I'm like, I'm not wrestling again. I can already tell I'm not wrestling. They start bringing the gurney out to like wheel me out because obviously I can't feel my body, and I was like, do not let me get stretchered out.
Why? What does that mean?
Like, so it's the
gurney thing.
The hospital bed that they roll you out.
You didn't want to be on that.
Why? No. Maybe a pride thing, you know, if this is going to be my last match, I want to walk out with my head up, you know, and I don't know.
You had to think that quick?
Yeah. Huh?
You had to think that quick where you're like, I'm walking out.
Yes.
So did you walk out?
I did. And so like after a while, I was like, please just wait and see if something comes back. All of a sudden I start feeling the pins and needles in my body, you know, I'm like, okay, feeling's coming back. And then I sat up in the ring and the crowd starts cheering, you know, because they were just like fucking.
Were you crying? Or were you like,
no, that's the thing. Everyone else was crying. I was just like, I think I'd just gone through so much already in the past year and a half. I didn't have anything left to give, but I was just in a much more positive mindset, because if it was 6 months prior, I probably would have spiraled and gone back to drugs, but I was already in a good mindset, you know? So I sat up and I walked out, and then the next day they sent me to the doctor, Dr. Maroon, and he said, you're not wrestling again. Your neck is too bad, you know? And so I had to have another neck surgery, and I was out for 5 years. 5 years. And then, you know, I wasn't being used. So I was sitting at home for years and years and years. And I tried to get into Twitch and stuff like that. And I was in the top 10 streamers on the platform. And I was the only girl on the platform. I was killing it, dude. I was going off on that. It's just, again, it's very tedious. You have to be on the camera. Like I was on there for like 8 to 9 hours. You know what I mean? It's a long process. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I enjoyed it. It was during the pandemic. So that's all I was doing. Too. Yeah, that's all I was doing. So I was making money through that. And then WWE stopped doing if you were doing third party things, you had to not do it. They banned it. But if you did do it, then they get a percentage of it. And I was just like, nah. And
I think I talked about that with somebody where WWE has like a really tight leash on like anything like that. So like you can't like change the way that you look without permission. You can't do a book without permission. So that was during that time?
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if things are different now, but I think that's definitely still like that now, like that kind of thing. I don't know how tight the leash is anymore though when it comes to outside activities or whatever, but you do have to ask permission. But yeah, so I made a whole thing. Again, I did a video saying I spiraled. I was like, I gave my neck to you guys twice, and now you want to take away my Twitch? Yeah, and I had like a meltdown, you know. And then they were just like, all right, you can keep it, just fucking keep it.
Because you were still under contract with them during. Yeah. Okay, so that's why they were got it tracking.
But then they gave me a call and was just like, we're not going to renew your contract, and I was like, okay. Were
you upset?
Good. Oh, I was devastated, but I wasn't on the phone like that. Because then within a couple of weeks, they were calling me back anyway to be like, Hunter called me, Triple H called me. He was just like, why'd you leave? I was like, you didn't renew my contract. And he was like, and at the time, he was having his heart issues and stuff, so he wasn't in the company. He was taking time away. So he was confused. And then he was just like, I feel like you still have a lot left in the tank. Like, you know? But then AEW called me too. And the thing that sold me with AEW is they said they were going to sign my brother too. They said that they were going to bring my brother in, and that's like what I've always wanted, is Zach to have his fucking opportunity. Yeah. So that was a big thing, but also the freedom that you get, because again, it was really restrictive back then. Sure. And Tony was saying like, anything I do, he won't take a percentage of. I can do whatever I want as long as I just come to work on Wednesdays, you know?
So you decided to sign with AEW?
I did, yeah. So I ended up going to AEW, and recently we did the mutual split though, you know, where we both parted ways, and it's for the, I had a great time there, but I want to not wrestle for a little bit. I need to
Yeah.
take a break.
How do you even make those decisions, right? Because like I feel like with any professional sport, like you only have like your prime years, or I guess some people go like for a full career, but I feel like how do you even make that decision? You're like, am I going to be okay to go back when I choose to go back?
Yeah, it's, you know, you go back and forth in your head all the time, and there's a lot of calls where I called him and I was like, what do I do? You know, like, what's going on? You know, so it's a hard decision to make, but sometimes like, I don't think you're ever ready for anything.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes you just have to pull the trigger and just like, you know, I just wanted to take control of my life a lot more, you know. And
well, you haven't really been able to make your own decisions since you were 13 years old.
Exactly. That's what Meech keeps saying
so
too.
if you know, are able to kind of control that and make your own decisions now, that makes sense to me. But other people won't understand it.
Yeah. But 2025, it's still like, I never want to hurt anyone's feelings, right? So I'm just like, oh, like, you know, opportunities come my way. And if I don't really want it, I'm just like, you know, maybe we should think about this. And I don't know how to say yes or no. And he's just like, just fucking say no. You know what I mean? It's okay. But it's like, or he'll be the bad guy for me or something like that, you know, which is really helpful. So I'm just like, how do I tell them this? And he was like, I got you. Don't worry about it.
Could you do like commentary or something for WWE? Like go stay with WWE, but in a different capacity. So you're sort of getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I loved being general manager there where I played like an authoritative role, like the boss lady.
Yeah.
I loved that role. And that was one of the roles that they wanted to give me if I was to go back a couple of years ago. But then again, ultimately I went to AEW. But
did Zach get signed then? Did they end up signing him?
He did, but they also released him too. Yeah, it's just because, you know, he's a homebody, isn't he? And it's hard for him to move his whole family to America. He has 3 kids.
Oh, he's still over in England.
Yeah.
Okay. The whole time I thought maybe he moved over here.
No. So it was really hard on him, you know, and to be away from his kids and all that kind of stuff. But also it was just hard to take all the kids out of school and bring them to America. It was a lot more complicated than people realize.
And it would have been different probably before he had a family.
Exactly.
Whenever I talked to Becky Lynch, she was in the hotel room with her husband and her daughter. And I was like, you're doing a podcast, you got your family running around, you're about to get ready for WrestleMania. Like it was crazy. So I would imagine for your brother too, it would be the same.
Oh yeah. And just like, he just said, you know, if he could, he'd be able to click his fingers and everyone would be able to move. But you have to talk about visas. It's a whole thing. Like trying to move to America.
For sure.
Especially nowadays, it's really hard to like figure everything out. Like visa situations and
stuff. I could imagine. All right. Where can people find you on social media? Yeah.
So I have Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. All Saraya, just Saraya, Saraya. And then Patreon, again, patreon.com/Saraya. And then if you want to find my podcast, Rule Breakers with Saraya, it's wherever you get your podcast. It's everywhere. And then to visually see it, you just head on over to YouTube and then get some behind the scenes content on my Patreon.
And your book, Helen Boots,
is
on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever you get books.
Wherever you get your books, and the audio version too, wherever you get your audio.
Oh, perfect.
Audible, sorry.
Same thing, whatever. Thank you so much for coming on Barely Famous.
Thank you.